Okay, we're rolling here. Good morning, everyone. We're going to go through some quick introductions before I call the meeting to order. We have Councillor Janine Boulanger with us.
Good morning, everybody.
We have Councillor Ron Mamchuk with us.
Good morning.
We have Councillor Curtis Clayton with us.
Hello, everyone. Good morning.
We have our CAO, Mitch Duval, with us.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
And thank you for that. I forgot about that. And off camera, we have Dominic Lemoyne, our assistant CAO. And then, good morning, thank you. And then Councillor Shane Pelche is not here with us today. We will call the meeting to order. Do I have a mover?
Moved by Ron Mamchuk, Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Janine Boulanger.
Thank you very much. We will call for the vote now. We are doing it as we have done in the last couple of meetings online. Please cast your vote online.
No, how come? Okay, geez. Oops. Okay, hang on here. I think I got it now.
The vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. It's opening the meeting at 9:03 a.m. To adoption of the agenda, do I have a mover?
Ron
Councillor
Mamchuk.
Clayton.
Councillor Curtis Clayton moves it. Councillor Ron Mamchuk seconds it. Any additions, edits, comments?
Nothing changed.
Not here.
Thank you. We will call for the vote now. Online, please cast your vote.
The vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. You can tell we have new technology, so it's a lot quicker than it has been in the past, so that's great. 3, adoption of minutes. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Boulanger.
Seconded by Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you very much. Take it away, Mr. Seal.
Council has before them the minutes of April 20th, which is a special meeting. At that meeting, we passed first reading of the financial plan bylaw. That financial plan hearing is scheduled for May 12th, 7 p.m. On April 22nd, we held our regular council meeting whereby we had 6 public hearings as well as other matters. 5 of those public hearings were held. 1 was postponed due to accessibility issues and was deferred to the next day. That is all incorporated within the minutes of the 22nd. There were also 2 development agreements that were agreed upon by council. And on April 27th, at a special council meeting, council made a decision regarding the application of C5 2020.
Perfect. Thank you. Any comments from council?
Everything okay here?
No, it looks good.
Thank you. I'll call for the question. Please cast your vote online.
The vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. Moving on to number 4, committee reports and minutes. Do I have a mover?
Ron Mamchuk.
Councillor Clayton.
Thank you. Councillor Mamchuk moves it. Councillor Clayton seconds it.
I guess due to COVID, we are recommended to stay at home. A lot of people are doing Skype meetings. The only reports received is from our mayor, whereby he deals with the Winnipeg Metro region, John Q, Community Futures, the Red River Floodway Committee, the Reach Out Chamber of Commerce, and as well as the Communications Committee. Nothing else was received.
Thank you very much. Just a note for the Red River Floodway, there was no meeting. I was just keeping up to date with if there's any major changes with the floodgates. Just a small little blue light I wrote, but I would like to see a upcoming meeting with Councillor Belanger and you, Mr. CEO, and the floodway board. I think last year we never ended up having a closure meeting once they
No.
closed the gate. So I'd like to see that this year.
Yeah, me
And
too.
for-
Just to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
I do have a question about your John Q meeting about the recently funded for fiber optics project. A grant, I guess. Do you have any idea when, is that part of the ISIP or is it a different grant?
Sorry, just
Oh, you froze, Chris. You're frozen in time.
are you guys there?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are.
Yeah, sorry. Janine, you want to say that again? I lost connection completely from the internet,
Oh.
so I had to reconnect.
Oh, I see. Okay. The grant application for John Q, the recently
Yeah.
funded, do you know, is that through ISIP or is that a different grant? And do you know when that's going to be coming through?
Yeah, that's the internet funding. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's ISIP. I can't remember. I'd have to get back to you. I'll confirm that. I'll send a message to our executive director and I'll find out offline here for you. But it sounds like it was a huge application. It took them, I think, 2 months just to finish it. They finished it the night before. I think I said it was like 400 pages. It was crazy. But it sounds like whatever funding it is, it's delayed. It's still happening, but it is delayed in getting approval, and the project wouldn't start till next year now, when originally they were looking at getting funding at the end of this year. So I'll have to figure out if it's ISIP, because that doesn't sound like the ISIP
No.
funding. So I'll double check.
Okay.
It could be that CRTC funding. That's what I'm thinking it is. The
Okay.
Canadian Broadband Network CRTC application funding.
Okay. Thank you.
But I'll double check for you, and I'll get back to you in the next 25 minutes about that.
Okay.
Anything else?
Mr. Mayor, about committee reports, we've been dealing electronically with the St. Lad River Watershed District, and also I've been emailing with Lionel from the Weed Control, because he's on the payroll as of May 1st, and I just sent him an email seeing what his future is for spring, and I said it'd be a good time to do the parks and the schoolyards right now, because of course everything is shut down. Now, I don't know if it's too early or not, but he hasn't got back to me, and I'll have to talk to the rest of the committee, like Curtis and De Salisbury, in the near future. Anyways, that's the only thing I have in this end. Thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, if you guys have any, even just a small sentence, you can see mine were very brief notes. Just if you've done anything, write it down so that we have something on document. But I appreciate that, Councillor Mamchuk.
You're welcome.
Anything else?
Not here.
Okay, I will call for the question. Cast your vote online.
The motion is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. We are moving on to 5.1, accounts paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Seconded.
Councillor Belanger.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, Mr. CEO.
Thank you. Trying to multitask. Hang on, folks. Sorry for the delay. I clicked the wrong ones. Alrighty, here we go. All right. So regarding the accounts paid, there's only one batch totaling 139,000. Mostly in there are BDO fees related to the 2019 audit, as well as deposits being made for a truck and trailer that council is looking to move forward with for public works.
Any comments from council about that?
Fine from here.
Yeah, nothing here.
Okay, let's call for the question. Cast your vote online, please.
The item is not ready for voting.
Should be ready now.
Okay, thank you.
Just click on it.
Okay. No, it says this item is not ready for voting.
Okay, Councillor Mamchuk, are you in favor or against?
I'm in favor. Thank you.
Thank you. Then the vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. Moving on to 5.2, accounts not paid to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton,
Second.
Counselor Blanchet?
Thank you very much.
All right. In regards to accounts not paid to be approved, there is one batch totaling $172,000. You could tell that Public Works is up and running again due to spring. There's some power sweeping bills for street sweeping in there. There's also steamer rentals as well as the Saint Rat Roseau in there as well. Dominic, if you could let Michael, there's somebody in the lobby waiting to get in. Oh, that's our commissioners, correct? Yes,
Yeah.
never mind then.
Yes,
Sorry.
correct.
Okay, sorry, we'll ignore my comments there. And as well, I think that's pretty much it in the accounts yet to be paid.
Thank you very much. Any questions from council?
Yes, I have a question, and sorry, Mitch, for not sending you this question earlier, but it's about the power sweeping.
Yes.
When we talked to Mike last week at the Public Works meeting, he said that they got new equipment, and I see that there's expenses for sweeper parts in there on page 16, which is great. But we have big bills out to Bayview Construction for power sweeping, so I'm a little
Is
confused as
Councillor
to.
Boulanger cutting out for everybody else, Council?
No.
No, I can hear.
Okay, I will only guesstimate as to what she said according to her lip movement. Power sweeping, oh, I could hear her now. Basically, the power sweeping is for residential streets. So basically, I think the equipment that we have is just a broom. So it would broom it off to the side, which is good for shoulders and stuff like that. But when it comes to street sweeping in town, you need to collect that information, that material, and haul it away. So there's a difference of types of sweepers to be done.
Got you. Okay. And Bayview Construction, that is, as usual, that's a tendered process?
I believe so. That would be through Mike and his Public Works Department.
Okay. Thank you.
Anything else from council?
not here.
Okay,
Not here.
I'll call for the question. Please cast your vote online.
Vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. Moving on to 5.2.1, council indemnities. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Clayton,
Thank you very much.
I have nothing to report on the matter. Council all has the copies of each councillor's indemnities.
Well, a lot of savings for the RM. We have very few meetings going on lately, so that's a bonus. Okay, I'll get you to cast your vote online, please.
The vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. 5.3, payroll to be approved. Do I have a mover?
Councillor
Councilor
Mamchuk.
Boulanger?
Councillor Mamchuk moves it, second by Councillor Belanger.
All right, in this payroll, we are dealing with the quarterly fire department, no issues there, as well as payroll 9, which is from April 12th to the 25th. Looks like there is some public works overtime involved, likely due to drainage, culvert cleaning, flood, et cetera, that kind of start of the year type of thing. As well as there is some staff overtime because of COVID, having to do these Skype meetings, Teams meetings, getting people set up accordingly, and attending these meetings. So there's some overtime due to staff as well.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions from council?
None here.
Perfect. Okay, I'll get you to cast your vote online, please.
The vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. 6.1.1 PR 305 crosswalk in St. Agathe. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Clayton,
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Belanger.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so council has the resolution in front of them. This is a project that has been near and dear to the community of St. Agathe with the past councillor and current councillor, as well as the school and the residents in the area. So I think the steps here are to try to engage the Department of Infrastructure, Highways, and work cooperatively with them in regards to getting a good pedestrian corridor crossing to ensure the safety of our citizens in the St. Agathe area.
Perfect. Any comments from council?
No, it's a wonderful thing that's happening finally.
Absolutely. I know that we've worked on
yeah,
this.
just,
Go ahead.
no,
ahead,
it just, yeah, really all I'm doing is mirroring Mitch's comments, but it's something that the community has really been working on for the last few years. And it's just nice to see it coming together and put some closure to this. So,
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to say it's, I think one of the first things we talked about when Jen and I were first on council. So it's literally 3 years in the making at least. So
Yeah, it's ongoing, that's for sure.
exercise and patience.
Excellent. Okay, then I will call for the question. Please cast your vote online.
The vote is carried 4-0. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 6.2.1 waiving utility late fees due to COVID-19. Do I have a mover?
Councillor Mamchuk.
Thank you. Second.
Councillor Clayton,
Thank you very much.
I believe this is somewhat self-explanatory, but in case it is not, we just sent out the latest current water bills for the past quarter. Due to COVID, there might be some residents that may have some financial issues regarding employment, et cetera, the recommendation, and this is because of a survey that I had sent out by our association to find out how many are, how many aren't. And I think that information was shared with council. Most of the municipalities are, and what they're doing is it varies between 1 month to 3 months as far as waiving the interest. So the recommendation of this administration is to delay or freeze interest on outstanding balances on current amounts only. for the next 3 months and then reassess accordingly.
Perfect, thank you. Any comments from council?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
Okay, then we will cast our vote online. Go ahead.
The vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you very much. I believe we're at adjournment now. Is that correct, Mr. CEO? The rest is just correspondence?
The rest is correspondence. If council wants to deal with it at this time, they are welcome to do so. Otherwise, you're correct. We are at adjournment.
I believe we'll just move on to adjournment. Do I have a mover?
Councillor
Councillor
Mamchuk.
Blanchet,
Thank you. Councillor Mamchuk moves it. I believe it was seconded by Councillor Belanger. Call for the question. Please cast your vote online.
That vote is carried 4-0.
Thank you. We will adjourn at 9:23 a.m. today. Thank you very much, everyone. Stop
Thank you.
recording, please.